This week, I'm here to tell you to be your own damn hero. Yeah, just like that. How many of you have watched Game of Thrones? How about Lord of the Rings? How about Harry Potter? If you've watched any of those movies, they typify the hero's journey. I mentioned it last week. Have you ever thought about it? How the best movies, the movies that we like, even in the Marvel Universe, all have a hero's journey. You have a hero's journey. You best be on it. Otherwise, you'll be miserable. If you're lost right now, if you're feeling like adulting is a little too hard, if you've lost your way, it's because you forgot that you are on a journey called life. You did not make a mistake. This is the right podcast. Welcome to While You Are Waiting, formerly known as If I Died Tonight, from BlanchardNetwork.com. This is the podcast created by Reverend Kenn Blanchard to encourage you, motivate you, and inspire you to live your best life. All right, so what am I saying? I'm saying that right now, you are in the first part, maybe, of your journey. It's an ordinary world. Life and death, tragedy, and good stuff happens in the ordinary world. But sometimes in this ordinary world, you get bored, you get frustrated, you get angry, and we don't have any goals. Once you start getting a goal, then you go to the second part, which is the call of adventure. Now I was thinking about the Game of Thrones. I just got finished watching, goo gobs of episodes because nothing else is on. And I hadn't seen it before. And every character has their own journey in this thing. Now it's pornographic, but man, is the writing good. You can actually cheer for the bad guy sometimes. You know Game of Thrones? Not your thing? If it is your thing, let me know. Send me an email to kenn.blanchard@gmail.com. That's KENN.BLANCHARD@gmail.com. Would love some feedback. Well, one of the things that I'm personally doing is learning how to play the guitar. Now, that's no big thing maybe, but it's been a big thing for me because I've always wanted to play the guitar. But life got in the way. And when it didn't get in the way, I didn't make it an important part of my life. I didn't make it a goal. It was just a want. I would buy a guitar, sell a guitar, buy a guitar, buy a magazine, buy a guitar, sell a guitar. I would move. I would throw the thing to the corner. It become a piece of my furniture. I would buy a cassette tape. I would buy a DVD. I would buy a CD. I would buy a video. VHS. I'd learn a little bit, forget a lot. And over the years, no progress. In your life, I bet there's something that's there that you've always wanted to do. And you've done just like I did. You put it to the side. Or you haven't discovered what your thing is yet. What takes you out of the ordinary world? What makes you have joy on the inside? The same joy as when you're traveling. I mentioned that too last week. Let's get a little deeper into that. Let's say we're preparing. We're going on a journey. We're going to the islands of the Caribbean. Yeah, that'd be nice. Any island. And we're going to stay for a month. Can you see the crystal blue turquoise water? Can you see the palm trees? Can you feel the warm winds? The sunny skies? The birds in the background? Can you hear the water? Yeah, I don't know where you're at right now. I don't know which island we're on. But all of that in the theater of your mind, it takes you to a place, right? It feels good, right? And it's all expense paid. All you got to do is get there. So what do you got to do first? What's on your to-do list? What do you have to do to be gone for 30 days? What bills do you have to pay? What pet sitter, house sitter, car payments, life stuff do you have to do? What do you have to do at your job? What do you have to do to prepare for this 30 days of peace and quiet and beauty and relaxation, free of charge? What do you have to do to get there? Well, you now have the elements of a goal. We know where we want to go. What do we have to do to get there? Are you with me? And why would these goals be any different than what you are trying to do right now? Goals in themselves aren't bad, but it's how we treat them. Sometimes we choose stuff we shouldn't. Goal setting is a more powerful motivator than money. A good goal will make you get up in the morning. It'll give you direction. You won't worry about the job that you got right now. You won't worry about what's happening because there's a goal that's overreaching it that you know that you're going to work toward. With me and my guitar, I want to be a really good studio musician. I want to be able to play with anybody and make them sound good and have them want me to be there. I want it to be a paid gig. I want it to be an extra thing in my arsenal that, if hard times hit, my guitar could help me make money. I get enjoyment playing with other people. When you set your goal, some people want to have competence, or some people strive to not look like they're dumb. See, we're either driven by a desire for success or fear of failure. Which one are you doing? Now, I mentioned the beach. You might don't like the beach. You see, our social influences are a strong determination on what we choose for a goal. What I'm saying with that is, if you're hanging around turkeys, it's hard to be an eagle. The impact on who influences you is huge. I know a guy, he went to a college because his friends wanted to go there. He was the only one that got in. And he ended up going by himself. He didn't even pick that college originally, but his social influences were so strong. That's where he ended up going. Now, a person with a lot of capabilities, with a lot of tools, with a lot of talents, is more likely to make their goal challenging and commit to it. And folks who don't believe in themselves pick really small goals. Individuals who sustain beliefs in their abilities under the pressure of challenging goals tend to maintain or even increase their subsequent goals, thereby making improvements to ensuing performances. And then on the other hand, those who lack confidence have a tendency to lower their goals, making them easier to achieve and decreasing their future efforts. There's an old saying I used to hear on the radio. The guy said, shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll be among the stars. A lot of us, myself included, have been the king of low-hanging fruit, of shooting low and getting it. You got to do better. You got to shoot higher. Being an optimist helps. You got to have hope. That's why I call myself a hope dealer. Because I understand that if you just settle around with people that don't have any dreams, that they just live in this life, the street life, the hood life, they know nothing about their block. They never left the country. They've never left their street, never left their town. They sometimes have small goals. And if you stay home and never leave the farm, you too will have small goals. You'll shoot yourself down. Don't lower your expectations for yourself. That's the world's job, to shoot you down. Don't you shoot yourself down. Now, you got to set a clear goal that's got to be challenging, yet within your skill level. You got to find your zone. Sometimes you got to work up to your zone. And that's okay because it's a journey. Goals are good for motivation and vice versa. Motivation is the desire or want that energizes and directs goal-oriented behavior. Can I motivate you? You know, around 25% of students who enroll in a 4-year college don't complete it. Why? They lack clear goals and motivation. And sometimes, without somebody else to kick them in the pants, they fail. But most of the time, it's on them. Everybody doesn't have a drill instructor, or a parent, or a father, or a coach. Sometimes you got to do it on your own. Be your own damn superhero. All right, so let's go back 30 years. I'm still wanting to be a guitarist, right? So I figured I'll just learn the blues. The blues has got to be simple, right? My stepdad used to listen to the blues on a Friday night. He loved B.B. King. I thought, they'll be real happy if I learn how to play the guitar. I'll be a cool kid. And the blues got to be easy, right? Since it's not Mozart or Beethoven. These guys never learned how to read music. Well, me being naive and stupid was evident when I learned how brilliant and how genius it was to use simple chords to make up music, to change chords and to make ghost notes and to make music with a feeling. This started my journey in learning about other people. The British blues, the American blues, the roots of blues, the blues in Africa, the blues around the world. And I became infatuated with the music of the blues. And the more I tried it, the more overwhelming it was. This stuff wasn't easy. What was I thinking? I started and looked for an instructor. Really nice guy. But he wasn't helping me progress. And then life changed again, and I let it go. Then I bought a new guitar, and I thought, all right, the new guitar is going to be the thing. Maybe I need an acoustic guitar. Maybe I need a Telecaster. Maybe I needed a Stratocaster. Maybe I needed to buy a Gibson. You know, it's never the equipment. It's always us. So in the hero's journey, in every story, there's you in that original world where you are. There's the call to action. And then the third part is when you refuse the call and you just think, nah, this thing is not for me. It's too big. I can't do it. I'm going to suck. I'm going to fail. That's normal. Think about all the stories that you've watched and loved, where the hero says, nah, can't do it. What happens next? In Star Wars, Luke was a dirt farmer, right? On Tatooine, I think that's what the name was called. And he met a mentor, Obi-Wan, Ben Kenobi. Who was it on Lord of the Rings? Yeah, the dude with the long beard, the wizard. It's always a mentor. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm sharing my mistakes, my experiences to help you. Because in my journey, I had to find a guitar teacher that could talk to me, that could understand where I was. And I kept searching for it in different ways. I searched for a mentor that was married. I searched for a mentor that was professional, that had a job. I searched for a mentor. You can have more than one wizard, truth be told. YouTube can teach you some stuff, but you need real people sometimes to help you to make sense of the abstract. You need more than one dimensional. You need somebody to be able to go back over and show you something that they didn't intend to show you, but it clicks with you. I was trying to learn a chord, right? I met this really good guy, lives locally, plays the guitar, been playing it for 60 years. Dude is awesome. And he had me bunch my fingers all up to make this chord shape. And he didn't really move that much. He moved just a couple of fingers up a couple of frets and back down again. Real simple pattern. But somehow I had missed that. So when nobody was around, I went back home and just made some noise with it. Just moved my fingers up and down in some certain places. Made my own chord shape. I don't even know what it is. I got to look it up to see what I'm doing. But it sounded good. I had an aha moment. Aha moments are great. It's like when you know you are hitting for that trip to the beach, to the Caribbean. You're slowly getting stuff in order. You're going to make it. Yeah, you have an aha moment. You feeling good. You can almost feel the warmness of the beach. You're getting there. Mentors help with that. Nobody's supposed to be here by ourselves. The bad part is there are a lot of people on this earth that have gone before you, made the mistakes that you don't have to copy or repeat. But unless you ask them, unless you talk to them, unless you get involved, unless you have a coach or a mentor or a friend or brother or sister, somebody that you can trust, you'll repeat the same mistake. And that's tragedy. Because you could have gone so much further if you didn't do the same dumb thing. What was Gandalf's role in Middle-earth? What did he do for the elves, for the hobbits, for everybody? What was Dumbledore's job? Is that the same guy, actually? One of the first principles in setting your goal is commitment. Commitment refers to the degree to which a person is attached to that goal and their determination to reach it, even when you're faced with obstacles. Sauron, the Siths, Darth Vader, whatever. Your own fear, your own failure, the fact that you are not rich, the fact that you are X, Y, Z, put a thing there. You'll perform your goal when you're committed to it. Given the commitment to a goal, if an individual discovers their performance is below that which is required, they are likely to increase their effort or change their strategy to obtain it. During this COVID thing, I teleworked for the first time in my life. I took it as an opportunity. My kids are now grown. I'm sitting in a room, and I could at least put an hour during my lunch break. I didn't have to go anywhere to practicing the guitar. Taking all the things that I have accumulated over the years and never put to practice, how about I reinvent myself? I even tried to videotape this thing. I call it my guitar journey on YouTube. I'm practicing video editing and getting over my fear of being in front of the camera at the same time. And trying to play. Commitment. Knowing that if I do at least once a week, that means I'm going to be practicing at least more than I would if I wasn't. And momentum is a major thing. Have you figured out a goal for yourself yet? Being clear about it will put you on a direct course. But when your goal is vague, you won't go anywhere. You know, a boat that just sits without a current just sits. It has to go somewhere. Set a clear, precise goal that can be measured. And when your goal is clear in your mind, you have an improved understanding of the task that you have. You'll know exactly what is required, and you'll get feedback on how far you're going. The blues, back to music again for me. Sometimes I want to just do a riff. There's a famous riff, and it just sounds so good. It's only 12 notes, maybe. And you can tell when it sounds right, and it's a little victory. Like, wow, I got it. Now, to tackle the whole doggone song is another thing. That's the challenge. The goal has to be challenging, but obtainable. And then it can help you through self-satisfaction and motivation to find more challenges and to push your skills and your limits. Goals that are not within our ability level will not be achieved. That's how you get frustrated. That's how you get dissatisfied. I want to be the president of the moon. Too big, too vague, unobtainable. I need to get all my stuff together so I can go on this free trip to the Caribbean. See how pointed that is? How attainable that is? How you've done it many, many times over? Apply that same principle tomorrow for a goal. And then on your hero's journey, you'll be crossing the first threshold in every story. There's one. After they meet the mentor, become the Jedi Knight apprentice, start on the journey for the rings, go to Hogwarts, whatever. It begins. Next part is what beats us up to time. You got to be realistic in your time. You got to allow sufficient time to work toward a goal to allow you to assess and reassess. You got to review and improve on your performance. With music, you can tell if it don't sound right or it doesn't sound right. You can tell if your feel is off, your tone is off, intonation is off. You can tell if it just doesn't sound right. You got all 12 notes down, but it don't sound like you're used to it. Here's a secret probably nobody's told you before. Even the most motivated, highly dedicated, skilled people fail on their first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, blah, blah, blah attempts. And then it's real easy once these failures pile up to be disillusioned, to quit. But reassess to make sure that your goal is worthy, that your goal is meaningful, that your goal is obtainable. Stop for a minute right now and look at what you've done already in your life. Maybe you wanted to get your black belt. Maybe you wanted to finish school. Maybe you wanted to learn how to ride a horse or to swim. Whatever your small goal was, well, not small, but whatever your goal was, how did you accomplish it? You have all the elements within you. Some things were easier than others, of course. But remember, your past wins to catapult you to the future. You did it once. I don't care how small it was. I don't care if it was walking. You know, there was a time when, as a baby, you didn't walk. You fell down a lot. But you can walk now because you didn't let that stop you. It's the same. It is right now. And you'll feel so much better if you get a goal, if you get a journey, if you get something that makes you want to get up in the morning, something to look forward to. Now, I said a lot in here, and hopefully it makes some sense. Goal setting is more effective in the presence of immediate feedback. Feedback, even the internal kind, helps to determine the degree to which you're making it and how you're progressing. Now, if you don't have any feedback, if nobody's telling you, if you can't see it, it'll be pretty hard to achieve your goal. Feedback, even negative feedback, allows us to reflect upon our ability and to set new, more attainable goals. When you don't get any feedback, you can't evaluate your effectiveness or what you're trying to do as fast as you want, and you lose hope. And that's the last thing I want. On a hero's journey, there'll be tests and allies and enemies. Guaranteed. Opposition. And that takes us halfway through the 12 steps of the hero's journey in almost every movie, every great story, and even in your life. We'll talk about the rest of it next week. You are your own hero. It's the journey that makes a difference. Can I tell you about hope for a minute? The definition from the dictionary says that hope and wish are kind of close. Hope in general means a desire for things to change for the better. And I want that better situation very much. I'm not into wishing. The definition of hope can differ depending upon the person doing the talking. But when I'm talking about hope, it's in a spiritual context. It might mean believing good things will happen with faith in a higher power. To have hope is to want an outcome that makes your life better in some way. It's not only can it help make a tough present situation more bearable, but it also can eventually improve our lives. Because if you envision a better future, it'll motivate you to make the steps to make it happen. Whether we think about it or not, hope is a part of everybody's life. Everybody hopes for something. It's an inherent part of being us. Hope helps us define what we want in our future, and is part of the self-narrative about our lives we have running inside our heads at all times. Hope is a belief thing. It helps you stay calm and peaceful when something less than desirable happens. Hope believes you will get through it. Hope remembers the times you made it through. Hope teams with faith and believes in the future. In a way, having hope links your past and present to the future. It gives you a vision for what you hope will happen, whether it does or not. Just envisioning it, thinking about it, the trip to the Caribbean can make you feel better. And that's something that you can control. Like poor kids working to get out of poverty. Hope can motivate you to take whatever steps are necessary to make it happen. Hold on to hope. Susan Ertz once said, "Millions long for immortality who don't know what to do with themselves on a rainy Sunday afternoon." Think about that for a minute. I'm hoping that while you were waiting, something was said that made sense to you. Something made you want to come back next week. Something makes you even want to support this podcast. I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it. But it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. This is your friend and your brother from another mother, the Reverend Kenn Blanchard. Thanks for listening, downloading, and supporting while you're waiting. Just in case nobody else has told you this today, I love you, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Until next week, shalom, baby. You can subscribe to this and other podcasts by Kenn Blanchard at BlanchardNetwork.com.